Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ninja Selling Podcast. He's Garrett, I'm Matt, and gosh, we are excited to be talking with you guys today. And this is a crucial topic, particularly right now in this environment, Garrett, that we're going to get to go down. But before we do, if you guys want to join an incredible community, and I'm talking about the best community in the entire world, fastest growing community in the universe, join the Ninja Selling Podcast Facebook group. Head over to Facebook.
I'm happy that you don't oversell that group. I'm really happy that you're chill about it and you just kind of...
I'm pretty humble about it. Yeah.
You are.
You know, if you guys only knew what went on in there, I mean, it's so... I'm scratching the surface. Head over to Facebook, join. We got about 16,000 people in there right now. All kidding aside, guys, it's a great place if you have questions about your processes, if you're looking to bounce some ideas off of people, or if you're just looking to connect with other agents. It's a great place to do that. So go check that out. And if you want to learn more about ninja selling, head over to ninjaselling.com. You can learn about training and coaching and all of the wonderful things that are there. But Garrett, let's dive right in to today's topic and talk about service and adding value and beautiful things.
This has been an interesting time, Matt, because we have watched a lot of people try to figure out how they're adding more value. What does this all mean? What's happening out there? And what's really started to come to my attention is that there are agents out here right now that are saying, okay, all the noise, all the stuff that's going on, how do I take care of my people better? How am I going to handle this time right now to raise my level of service that I'm providing? And I think the initial thought of it as they're going into it is a little bit of like, okay, I've got to figure out how to navigate these waters. And I hear all these new regulations I got to do and all these things that are going to be required of me. And my office is giving me these things that are required of me. And what's really cool is people are coming out the backside as they're implementing these things. The comments that are coming to me are, oh my gosh, my clients actually are really liking this. Oh my gosh, my clients are grateful for the service that oh my gosh, like, why haven't I been doing this the entire time this way? Why did it take this to get me to provide this level of value to my clients when working with them as a buyer? Like, what have we been doing? And this is coming out in this last week, Matt. I have had numerous times, different people that have come to me and said, I just had a response from a buyer that I'm working with. I have never had that response to my process and the initial beginning of our relationship. They're like, we haven't even found them a house yet. And they are celebrating our relationship because of how I've kicked this off. It is amazing, Matt.
It is incredible. I'm seeing the same thing with agents that are providing great value and they're hearing from, and even just focusing on their people, right? I mean, this is a service industry.
Yep.
And yes, we're called salespeople because a component of what realtors do is selling and negotiating. But the primary thing that we do is we serve buyers and sellers. And that's the component that I see a lot of people starting to miss because they're just getting scared. And they're like, oh gosh, I need to make sure that there's more deals coming in. And they go into, quote, sales mode, and they forget about asking questions, deploying empathy, understanding the client. I just had a client the other day. He told me that he was competing for a listing, and the clients told him he won the listing because he asked a question. And he just asked a question about their timeline and if they'd be comfortable waiting so that they could showcase this beautiful pool that they had as part of the listing. And that won on the listing. I mean, there were probably a lot of other things because this guy is a rock star, but they highlighted as that was the time that we knew that you were going to be the person that was going to be able to take care of us. And those words, take care of us, I mean, that is so powerful. And gosh, Garrett, the way you do this is you spend time up front with your clients. And so many people are just trying to run, and they're missing this massive opportunity.
Well, and the ones that I'm finding that are seeing this value come out of it, the words they're using is things like, I know how to do this because I've done it on the listing side my entire career. I have been providing this value, this information and listening and taking a lot of time up front to figure out what somebody's situation is and what are they really trying to accomplish and what does this all look like? And let's get the time frames laid out. I mean, Anybody who's been through Ninja sits back and goes, oh yeah, we're going to take the calendar out. We're going to figure out where do we need to start marketing this? Where do we need to start getting it ready? Are there home improvements that we need to start doing? Well, this moves us. We got a 2-month window here before we even put your home on the market. But in the buy side, for so long, we jump right into let's go and look at homes. Let's just get in the car. Let's get out here and let's go do it. And you wonder why we don't have much value. You wonder why people don't look at the buy side here for so long and go well, what am I doing? What does it matter if I use you? Well, I'll just do this on my own. Why do I need you? Well, we haven't really set it up very well. So what I'm finding is those ones that are taking the time to go, okay, let's treat this like a listing presentation. Let's treat this with the same care that I give to that. Now let's sit down and do this over here. And let's talk about where they want to go, what they're trying to accomplish, what their situation is right now. What does this all look like if the perfect picture were to come into alignment? What are their time frames? Break this all down and then present your process in a way that matches up with what they're trying to accomplish. And all of a sudden, what we're having is these people going, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that we found you. So I'm hearing flowers being delivered. Somebody just got a note that said, we are currently right now celebrating with champagne and a really nice dinner, just that we found you. And I'm like, okay, is it weird? Is it a coincidence that right now in this time, this is when I have 20 years of doing real estate, 20 years of coaching and working with real estate agents. I haven't been a realtor for 20 years, but working with realtors for 20 years. This is the first time I'm hearing it in the time that we're in right now. Oh my gosh, guys, people want this. Oh. They want somebody to take care of them. They want somebody who cares as we go through this really difficult process of buying and selling a house. And Matt, I'm happy you brought up salesperson, because we have a title of we're in real estate sales. We're a realtor who helps people and we're in sales. I have questioned this for many, 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 many years, this idea of sales being attached to what we do, because we don't have our own personal inventory. I'm not making widgets over here and bringing you let me tell you about how amazing this new pen is and why you need to have this pen in your life. I'm not doing that. I am out here trying to help people make connections and make buyers and sellers be able to work together so that they can buy and they can sell. You really are like a transaction coordinator is what you are on some level. You're a service provider to help this all move smoothly. The sooner you can take sales out of your world and lean into this other side, you will start having these experiences like that we are seeing these people have out here. They are not acting as salespeople in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah. I think this is where some states, they just have brokers, right?
Yeah.
Every state has a different way that they call their licensees and whatnot. And the states that identify everybody who's licensed as brokers, I have this really nice connection with that, because a broker is someone who brokers a deal. And that is a component of what we do, because you take the salesperson side, where's the sales aspect on a buyer, right? We're not just trying to sell that buyer. That buyer is our client. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have a lot of homes in inventory, maybe then you kind of fill that salesperson role. And I think ultimately everybody is internally a salesperson, because you got to sell yourself, but that's a whole nother conversation around that. But you're so right, Garrett. If we focus on, hey, I'm here to provide an outrageous, incredible service to my people to help them achieve their goals, then you're a broker out there who's at the top of their game. You're not necessarily a salesperson.
Well, so it's interesting, Matt, and I don't know if you've ever had any true real sales jobs. I'm not calling you out here. I'm just, I have had real commission sales jobs well before real estate. And real estate's a completely different beast if you look back at these ones before. I worked for Audi Saab, I worked for Land Rover, I worked for Jaguar, and I sold their products. And believe me, that's selling. When somebody comes in and they're going, I'm thinking about buying a car, I got about an hour to make them go, I don't know how I've ever lived without a Jaguar in my life. I don't know how I've done it. And thank you for presenting this car to me and showing me the features and making me see how it's going to make me a better person. I have a limited window to make that happen. Same thing with every other. By the way, if you ever want to sell Saabs, that's a trip.
I wish I could sell Saabs.
I love Saab owners. Whole different world. That was my first cars I ever sold were Saabs.
Should bring Saabs back.
Wild clientele. And the personalities of different brands is amazing.
Imagine what Saab's competitor to the Volkswagen Golf R would be. It would be insane. Oh gosh, it was
the Vigan is what it was. Any Saab owners out there, it was the Vigan is what the car was.
Yes,
and it had the craziest torque steer. You would step on the gas and it would change lanes.
There's like no traction control or anything, dude. Oh man. Anyway, we're totally getting off topic.
That's real sales. Like that's real sales. Before that, I was pretty much almost to 100% commission. Outdoor clothing, apparel, snowboards. I did that coming out of high school. And I did that for many years working in that environment. And I was really good at it, like really good at selling those products when people came in and moving them up to the more expensive products that were in that store, because I got paid a commission different than if they bought the cheap snowboard compared to the top of the line snowboard. I got to get them to see why that they need that in their world. I've been there. That's sales. Every single day that I come in, I got to figure out how to sell a product. This is different. We're in a different world in real estate.
Well, and maybe it's the evolution of real estate, right? Because when there wasn't buyer's agency, there wasn't public listing portals and things like that. You had your listing inventory as an office.
Yep.
And you all go out and you sell it. You try to find the buyers for that, right? And so this has been the evolution of real estate over the past what year are we in now? So 3 or 4 decades?
I was going to say decades. This is where we're going.
And if you're still looking at it as pure sales, just pure sales, which you should have that skill. Don't get me wrong. That is
it's a skill. Yes.
It is a very, very important skill that really anybody can learn. It's outrageously important because you still need to sell yourself. However, if you focus on service and leading up front with value, and we've talked about this, I don't know how many times on the podcast, Garrett, but the more time you take up front, the more time you're going to save on the back end, and the more the percentage of a deal actually happening goes up with a potential client.
And I want to lean into a little bit of this. You still need to sell yourself. And I know there's people out there that might be kind of going like, yeah, sell myself. Here's the thing I want everybody to think about. These agents out here that we're talking about that are having people are having champagne dinners because we're so excited that we found Matt Benelli, and Matt Benelli's now that is somebody that has bought the idea of Matt Benelli. Whether Matt actively sold himself to them, and this is the coolest part, is being really good at selling yourself means that somebody saw enough value to want to buy you.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's not like, I convinced them to work with me. No. I brought enough value to the table that they said, I want to buy Matt Benelli's services. And all these ones out here that are celebrating it and sending flowers and sending these incredible gifts and ideas, like this is people that have bought him. This is people that have bought these people to help them. And it sounds weird if you want to take it in a weird way, but that's really what it is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You've got to be good at doing that. I want as many people to buy the Garrett Fry idea in my world around me. And every time I make a podcast, every time I go out, I'm technically selling myself. I'm putting my value out here, and you all get the choice to go, I want to spend my time buying time with Garrett and spending time here. And you get to do that with Matt. That's why everybody shows up and listens to the episodes. You all have time to do this. And it was any brand, any restaurant out there that you choose to go spend time in, you have bought that idea of that brand and that place that you want to spend your money, your time, your energy. This is where, Matt, I think you're saying is you got to get good at selling yourself, where people need to be able to perceive your value.
Yeah. I mean, and that's even comparing it to car salesmen. And for the people who listen to this who aren't in real estate, if you're in sales, your value goes up based on how you educate and connect with people before a transaction opportunity arises, and also at the beginning of that transaction experience, right? Because the examples we talked about in the beginning of this episode had to do with agents sitting down with buyers and sellers up front to discuss what the process is going to be like and have discussions. If you look at some of the best car salespeople out there in the country, which you can't just go look up online, although I'm sure they have awards for this kind of stuff, The best ones are out there showcasing their value, usually through digital media, because seeing a car and experiencing a car through that is part of the game. And they showcase the cars, they showcase what they can do, they showcase the stories, the testimonials, all the things we talk about in real estate. Then that gets somebody to ask a question. They engage with people, whether they're buying from them or not. They engage, they communicate, they educate. All of that value piles into, gosh, we're thinking of selling. Maybe we should just call Garrett, right?
So, okay, so let's keep this on the cars for a second, because one of the things that I experienced when I moved from Saab to Jaguar, I'll never forget. I called my clients and I let them know, hey guys, because you do develop, just like all of you selling real estate, you have your clientele, you have your people that you've worked with, and hopefully we can sell lots of cars to the same people over time, just like in homes. And I'll never forget, I was calling my people, and one of my great clients, Janet Scroggs, she's actually a realtor up in Seattle. I think she might be retired now. I remember I called her and she said, so you're not selling Saabs anymore? I said, no. She goes, so what are you selling now? And I was kind of bummed, because I was like, and I'm like, when you're ready to buy your next Saab, I want to make sure I can connect you with somebody who's here that can help you out, that'll take good care of you. And she goes, I think I could drive a Jag. She goes, yeah. Yeah, I think I could totally drive a Jaguar. She goes, let me come up and see you, because I think it's about that time, and I'd love to see what Jaguar is like. I sold her a Jaguar. Like, it was one of these like, oh, okay. Like, I guess this is the evolution of how this works. And what she bought was me. She bought my energy, what I'm about, me taking care of her, guiding. She knew she had me as her in her back corner when if something went wrong with the car, Garrett was going to be there and make sure she was taken care of. Like, that's something that, yes, you do need to get good at selling. I do have a funny story about Jaguar. Can I share it, Matt?
One sec. Let me just interject on this one thing, because you mentioned energy.
Okay.
And I want to highlight this, because the energy that you brought translated into the car. Every time she got into it, she felt that energy. And this is what happens in real estate too. Only people are buying a home that they're going to live in for years, have their most difficult conversations, have their most exciting conversations. The highs and the lows are all going to happen here. And you're going to see it all happen in a transaction too. And if you create this incredible energy of value and comfort up front, that is what they're going to be thinking about through the transaction, because people usually remember the beginning and the end a lot of times, right? So the upfront matters. If you just rush somebody into a process, they may not consciously remember that or even know that that's right or wrong, but what they do remember is they just got started into the process. And if they had confusion going into it and they felt that confusion going through with it, even if they ended with clarity, they still remember it started with confusion.
Interesting.
Whereas this lady you're talking about, she started with clarity. She started with comfort. And so no matter what happened with that Jaguar, if it broke down more often than her Saab, didn't matter, because she started with clarity from you. And that's the energy she was taking into it.
And we have still remained friends. It's still like, we will still communicate with each other. I don't talk to her enough anymore, but it's funny that we still communicate. So it's really funny with Jaguar, man. We talk about selling products and things like that and knowing your product. They brought the reps in from Jaguar, and I mean, of course, they walk in, and some of the salespeople are like, "Oh, Jag," and they're like, "Don't ever say that." You can hear like it's hurting their internal core when you would say Jag.
Jag.
They're like, it's Jaguars. That is what we sell, is Jaguars. Okay, great. So they're giving the tour of all the cars, and they have the XJ, and the XJ is the big sedan. And they're going around and walking around, showing us all the features of it. And they have the trunk, and he takes the trunk lid and he lightly closes it, and he leans on it till it clicks. And he turns to all of us as salespeople and says, "You never slam the Jaguar trunk lid, ever. That is not classy. You lean on it till it clicks, and that is how you close the trunk lid," or the bonnet. And the bonnet's the front. I forget, it is the trunk.
The boot lid.
The boot. That's how you close the boot. And so as he's explaining it, he then turns and says, "This is a thing that we have developed because the older Jaguars, the fit and finish was too tight on certain things. And if you were to slam it, it actually breaks the taillights off the mounts." So we have developed this whole story of you just lightly close the never slam. I'm like, that's sales. That they took a situation of, how in the world are we going to fix this? And, we just need to come up with an elegant way of closing the boot.
Yeah. I love that. That's great. But stuff like that still works though too. I mean, I love little things like that you can incorporate into a sales pitch and things, because like it does feel good. It's like, oh yes, that's how we close the boot lid. I love it.
And I used to tell that story. I used to say, and I used to tell the end of it too, of like, this has developed this way because it used to, if you slam, not anymore, but it used to slam it would break the taillights off their mounts. Like that's.
Oh man, so awesome. Well, so, I mean, I think that like kind of puts a really good stamp on this too, Garrett. I mean, so if really what we're talking about is serve, don't sell.
Yep.
Bring the value up front, spend the time with your people. Don't make it about yourself.
And the thing that I really want to like put the icing on the cake with this is that we are starting to see the clientele that's out there right now getting to see a different level of service from all of you, the ones that are starting to lean into this, and they want it. They want somebody to take care of them. They want the upfront, showing of all the value of how you're going to help them and how you're going to guide them through this process. All the realtors out there that are walking around going, my clients won't stand for it. They don't want to go and sign these things before we take them out. They don't want to do all this stuff. They don't understand what you represent. If that's your voice, they don't see the value in them. That's why they don't want to sit with you. They have not bought you. That's why they don't want to spend any more time with you than they have to. Show your value. Bring this to the table, because everybody we're watching out there that's doing it, the clients are loving it. They're celebrating with them. That is a home run relationship forever of long-term clients and referrals. So with that being said, Matt, I don't know who brought this topic. I think it was a collaboration of both of us, but man, I appreciate this one.
I think we merged two together on this one. And I think that was important. Go back and listen to that again. The clients out there, the buyers and sellers, they want this. And all the headlines and everything out there is telling you that they don't. Oh, they just want cheap and they want fast and they want, no strings attached kind of things. And it's like, no, they want value. They want high quality service. Know that, incorporate it into your business and be that.
Yep. They will respond. We're already watching it. They're loving it. So, Matt, I appreciate you tons. Everybody who's listening out there, we appreciate you. Matt and I enjoy doing this so much and bringing this value to all of you. Well, I guess value is perceived on your end. I'm assuming we're bringing value to you. So with that, if you want to go check out the Facebook community, amazing group of people there. We are closing in on 16,000, maybe at 16,000 already by the time you're listening to this. And if you want to go check out Ninja Selling and learn more about what Ninja Selling is all about, go to ninjaselling.com, and we are here for you. So see you down the road. Matt, thank you.
Thank you, man. See you, everybody.
Bye, everyone. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like more, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com.
There you will also find links for more information about Ninja Selling and coaching. Have an incredible day.